Sit back and listen to this extremely interesting story. Tom smiled. He knew that with every minute that passed he was getting closer to home, his Lexus NX hybrid driving so smoothly and soundlessly that he was not distracted. He knew what awaited him, and that Jenny would have thought of something to make the first few hours of a kid's free weekend memorable. His darling always planned it perfectly, their kids spending the days with their closest friends down the coast so that they had time for themselves. The routine worked the other way too. The Spencers' two girls spending sleepovers as Clark and Gemma had 2 days to relax. Jenny marked the dates on the kitchen calendar, and she did so in red ink. Circled the dates and did so every 3 months so that days could be set aside, and he didn't burn up from his work. In her case, it gave her a breather from running the family home, a task that she willingly undertook, but left few opportunities to rediscover how life had been when they were first married and were setting up a home. Then, nothing kept them from passionate and prolonged moments of loving, cavorting at different times of the day or night, out in the car sometimes when on a beach run, or when they took a few days' break somewhere. He wasn't going to argue about her plans for them. The gnawing ache of longing that he felt for his woman became stronger with every minute that passed and the scenery changed. He now saw quiet residential streets, and the palm trees lined the road up to his Florida home. There his wife would be waiting, and the sight of her would turn that flickering flame of longing into a raging heat. Heartsuit Tom, her wolf, had arrived home with a bunch of red roses to be seen clutched in one hand as he pushed open the door that led from the garage into their laundry room. He was in their cavernous kitchen a few steps more, where she stood waiting for him. "I never get tired of looking at you," he says with a broad grin creasing his face, Tom's stubble already to be seen. "You've put on something new for me. All I have is what you see, and it's always been more than enough. Come here, beautiful." She is petite and playful. Her luxuriant straw, blonde hair falls on either side of her face. A wondrous look can be seen in her lively eyes, and her full lips often break into a delightful smile. He loved this woman for more than 10 years of their marriage. Jenny destroys him every time they spend time together and is in the mood to capture each other, or to prolong the moments of communication and delay its completion. She deploys that wondering look on him now, a look that she soon puts into words. "Are you ready for me? Have you ever known me not to be?" "No," Jenny replies. Her soft laugh beguiles him as she holds out a hand. "Come with me." "I intend to." Tom is fascinated by the sensuality of his woman, her beautiful clothes that shape her. The designer uses a sheer fabric with a floral pattern that gives it a luxurious and delicate feel. She wants his kisses. She wants to kiss him. She'll do anything for his kisses and forget everything around her when she feels his lips on her mouth. She will surrender and forget everything as soon as she feels his lips on her mouth, and now, and over the next 2 days, they have the time all to themselves. "You're way ahead of me, honey," he says, giving her an admiring look as he pulls the shirt over his body, and she helps him remove the rest of his clothes before teasing him. "You're catching me up." She giggles and presses against him. He looks hungrily at her. He knows what he wants from her just as she does. Tom stands in front of her excited and without clothes. He's strong and well-muscled, fit, and looks like someone who takes care of himself as much as she does. It had always been this way throughout their marriage and courtship. It sounds old-fashioned, but they were in no rush to get married. "And now I'm yours to do with what you want," he says. Jenny hears a deep note of longing in his voice and looks up at him into Tom's surprised eyes. She takes a step closer and looks at him and kisses him. She feels a tight spasm of longing for him in her stomach and meets his kisses, Tom's hand around her neck to pull her closer, his other hand caressing her slowly. His kiss becomes slow. She likes it and feels her lips tingle. She loves his manly smell and gives in to him, closing her eyes as his kisses continue and Tom's hug tightens. She shivers as she senses his state of excitement. "Be with me. Take me back to the way it used to be when we were alone," he begs, barely pulling away as they continue to kiss. She clings to him and wonders when he will undress her as she rubs his back and grabs other places, feels him touch and press into her so she knows what it's like for him. She responds, pushes back and wants to feel him. She strokes his skin and tugs at the short hair at the back of his neck. "Undress me." She gasps and feels him. It feels so good to feel him teasing her like that, to feel the grip of his hands so that she's pressed against him. When will they cross the line and get down to business? She feels her heart pounding in her chest, feels how excited she is as he holds her close as his kisses continue, and she tries to return hungry kisses of her own. Standing in his arms, she feels weak and wants to give in to everything he awakens in her. But for Tom, delaying means increasing the pleasure that will come when he is with her, and she can fully respond. Her husband is so excited and strong. She tastes it and loves it. She kisses him again. Their kisses are more intense and hungry. They know what's coming next, and they want it. They are ready. "Undress me," she demands on the mountain. He answers, and with a cry of surprise and delight, she lifts herself up on her arms, and with unceasing steps they reach the foot of the wide staircase, the sunlight streaming in from the skylight overhead. "We have time to make it anywhere, but I want to spend time with you on the mountain." She clings to him as Tom cradles her in his arms. It was the first time they spent time as a married couple in their new home. Her husband and lover never let her forget the magic of that time, and she loves him for it. "Heart-suit, wait a moment, darlin'," she says, kissing him in silence. She does so by pushing Tom's questing hands away. He wants to undress her and not watch what she did for him when she sent a short clip of her slipping into the see-through bodysuit that he's now so keen to take off her. "I know that you liked seeing me earlier today. It sure made me want to get home to you." Now unclothed, exposed to his surprised gaze, he pushes her back against the edge of their bed, the covers so neatly arranged. While kissing and hugging each other, they come across cool covers. There is no time for long moments of foreplay. They appear to have done so while exchanging text messages and video clips throughout the day. "You are so good to me," she shouts, sensing his excitement. She no longer has to think about what Tom will do to her in the process. He touches her and caresses her. She knows and feels that he is in a hurry and wants to discover all that he can bring in exchange of warmth, to awaken the passion that their texts and short video clips revealed. "Continue," she gasps as Tom starts playing with her without any restraints. She is so ready for him. She is so excited. She clings to him, works alongside Tom, who teases her. She is so ready to communicate. "It's time for the real thing, my love. It's time to spend time together," so they do it quickly and without tricks. Yes, she wants to be with him and really wants it. What else could he do to let her know how much he missed her? She's in his arms, her clothes gone, and Tom can see how her body has changed since nursing 2 children. But the exercise has slimmed her waist and restored what was once an hourglass figure that Tom continues to love. Tom kisses her, his hands offering coaxing caresses as he does so. "Open some more for me." She shivers in response to his touch and does as Tom asks, who pleases her before moving on to the main thing. "You're so good at it," he tells her, letting his wife play and tease him. In moments of giving and taking, the separation of moments that are always a union, and neither seeks to dominate unless asked. Go on, honey." He relaxes his claim on her and she reaches down to tease him. He's very excited, his body shaking, a sure sign that she's getting to him because of what she's doing. The texts and pictures that had been sent throughout the day, and now the kisses and caresses, had driven them into unbearable excitement. "You're really ready for me." She moans as he pleasures her. She murmurs, "I want it now." Tom gets down to business. In a few minutes she feels that pleasure is close and she lets go of all restraints. She had all day to soak up the moment, prompting their conversations and exchange of images. It was ridiculous behavior that they were able to pursue while avoiding any risk of exposing her case. While he was gone for the day, Tom's responses were more reserved, but she knew she got to him. Now he was ready. They both are. "Be with me, do it for me," she moans. Tom puts all his strength into their communication until she is suffocating from pain and intense pleasure. "I'm loving you," he groans, "and I love what you're doing to me." Jenny nods back at him as they kiss while Tom continues to work. It feels like they want to indulge in every moment they want to chase from each other. These moments can't last forever, and she knows they will end in a stunning and incredibly satisfying ending. They get lost in the moment. They want it all and show no restraint. Her position changes, and Tom continues to give himself full power. Ready for anything, she reaches out to pet him and sees him frown in concentration as they share the pleasure. No one hears their calls to each other, their sharp breaths and words of encouragement. Everything they do for each other is shared, but he also takes the lead as she wants, leading them to mutual pleasure and love for each other. He doesn't leave her, even though his movements sometimes make her fear that he will. It feels so good, love. He kisses, content with what they now share. "I love you, love what you do," she shouts, closing her eyes and enjoying the process. She likes to feel his warmth on her skin and the quickening of his breath when they are together. She feels the surges of pleasure that continue to pass. She enjoys her husband's dedication and work. Tom smiles to her, kisses to his mouth. "Come for me, let go for me," he asks. She can't take it anymore and gives in. She feels pleasure that overwhelms her. She was here before. She had not been here before. This is how it feels right now. Everything tingles and pulses from the pleasure they have discovered. She continues to moan and gasp at the sensations Tom is giving her. His communication gives the feeling that he completely owns her. Fading pleasures leave their mark, but her lover Tom knows what to do when he senses her responding this way. He works even harder. It always is, but they haven't finished yet. "I'll do you now," she calls out. "You want more, don't you?" The bed creaks as they roll over and she has to catch her breath, shuddering as she feels Tom stop, but not for long. Now the initiative is in her hands. Now it works. Tom flinches, but she knows that this is a sure sign that they are happy together and will share it until the end. "Dear," he shouts as she plays with him. "I will lose him, go on." She sniggers against his lips and plagues him with what she does. Let's see who holds out the longest. She continues the conversation, continues to please him, and she can hear her sweet husband approving of it. He had lasted this long, loving her through 2 pleasures, so she would let him have it before giving in to the next pleasure. Tom feels pleasure, now me too. She rejoices when Tom's pleasure subsides. She holds onto his arms, moving so he can wrap his arms around her until the waves of shared pleasure slowly subside. And does he love her? Yes, he said so over and over again as they loved. They're words that she will never tire of hearing him say. What they have done has wrecked them, but that was how it was meant to be and always will be. They just need time to be alone together, and to give free rein to how they feel and all that they want to share. Waiting for Tom to return home was worth it. Subscribe to our channel so that your second C gaff doesn't cheat on you, and go ahead and listen to the next story, because this story is nothing compared to the next one. If you're under 18, don't even think about listening to the next one.